MMA Meltdown on the Fight Network continues. I am Gabriel Morency. Thanks to Robin Black for joining me in the studio. A great segment with Robin. Let's keep the good times rolling with the premier combat sport odds maker in the business, Mr. Joey Oddessa. Joey, it's always a pleasure. What's going on?
What's happening tonight? Gee, slow week. Idle time's the devil's playground on Halloween, huh?
Yeah, it really is. I like to just get through this week. And weird things have been happening in the studio. Weird things are happening everywhere. Weird things are happening on football fields. But the UFC takes a week off, and you and I have questioned their scheduling process in the past. But let's be honest. I don't know if they're smarter than us, but they're a hell of a lot richer than us. So what can we tell them what to do? I don't know. Is it smart not to go against Halloween? Or, I think a Halloween fight card would be pretty cool, man. A bunch of freaks in the stands dressed up and chicks dressed up, and you'd have a pretty crazy atmosphere at a UFC on a Halloween.
You know what? I don't know if I want to go down that route, but I would relate it to like Halloween and the strip club. Everybody's got a mask on, so everybody could act like a jerk. I would prefer not to have a fight on Halloween. Not to mention these judges. I mean, they rob you without a mask on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The judges and some of the referees would fit right in. What are you dressed as? A clown. They would fit right in. But yes, another sort of a light week, excuse me. But we do have some Titan stuff that we'll get to with Mike Ricci in a couple of minutes. But Aldo and Mendes, Joey, you liked Mendes coming into this fight. You thought that he was going to be able to get it done against Aldo. And I tell you, it was a hell of a fight, wasn't it? Mendes has nothing to hang his head about. But you and I talked about this on the Friday night before the fight. They were coming at Aldo from all angles, weren't they? Mendes is talking smack. They bring in McGregor. McGregor's talking smack. They have McGregor on the stage talking to Brazilians. They got McGregor sitting cage side. They were just sort of like poking Aldo left and right from all angles. If there was a voodoo doll, they were sticking pins in Aldo all over the place, and he just fought like an angry man on Saturday, Joey.
I tell you, he fought great, and I'm not into these big pound-for-pound rankings, but Mendes had a hell of a showing out there. He caught a first punch, at the buzzer. It was close. I mean, that stadium, or the venue was so loud, you probably couldn't hear it. There was 17 some extra seconds, I thought, on the TV clock, and the time that the buzzer rang that they stopped it, or I think it might have affected the fight. I mean, he took a hell of a shot at the end of the first round. 60 seconds really isn't enough time to recover from a shot like that. I mean, because he dropped him good. But Mendes, I could arguably put Mendes in my top 10, and people will say, "Oh, he's crazy," but I think Mendes, just an amazing showing, especially on a foreign venue like that, hostile environment, true gentleman after the win. I mean, after in defeat. He was a true gentleman. They put everything behind him. I thought it was great. I tell you what, Aldo, if there was a pound for pound, after that performance, I think Aldo moves up to number one above John Jones. And that's partially because I think Cormier is going to beat John Jones, and I keep repeating that week after week because I keep catching hell for it week after week.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that one, and I'll stand by you on that. And before the trollers start going, "Oh, Joey had Mendes, Joey had Mendes," Joey was also the only one, and including myself, and people were crediting me on Saturday night. Great call with Phil Davis, Morency. And I sat in this chair last week, and Joey told us he likes Davis. I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't say to take Teixeira, but I'm going to credit Joey Oddessa for convincing all of us that Phil Davis was the play. And once again, you and I spoke, and I started to realize, I thought Machida won the fight in Brazil when Phil Davis went down there, but it was pretty close, and Phil Davis was able to take him down. Then I started to think, let's not just kick Phil Davis out of the club because he lost to Anthony Johnson, and Phil Davis never looked so good. Cashes, it was plus 250, but the line just dropped, Joey. It was as low as plus 180 right before the fight, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people came in on him late. I tell you, Phil Davis will beat John Jones in a wrestling match. MMA bout, I say no. But in a true wrestling bout, which it isn't, but it is one, highly,
you just
dynamic aspect of the
you just
sport.
want to see John
Phil Davis
Jones
is a better wrestler.
You just want to see John Jones go down. This guy is going to beat Jones. That guy's going to beat Jones. And it's funny, I wanted to ask you, too, before we get off track here. So, you went against Aldo here, but you took a lot of heat for your anti-Conor stance. And you never said the guy was terrible or anything like that, but you've talked about the hype here. Now people want to see Conor and Aldo down the road here, Joey. And I think Aldo would pick Conor apart, actually, in my own personal opinion. My money will be on Aldo. What do you make of that potential future matchup? And not to overlook Dennis Seaver, but I don't think Seaver's beating McGregor.
I don't think Seaver's going to meet McGregor either, but I tell you, Aldo's got to fight the right, cliche. Aldo's got to fight the right fight. If Conor hits him, he can hurt him because Aldo gets hit. There's no question. I mean, it would pain me to see Conor win the title. He's doing the right things. He's promoting the fight. They called him the Joker. Both guys called him the Joker, Mendes and Aldo. I believe Mendes would beat Conor McGregor easier than Aldo would because I think Aldo would have a tendency to want to stand on his feet with him more, which would make him more susceptible to getting hit by one of those power bombs because there's no question, Conor McGregor can punch. And I think Mendes has enough sense to take him down, and I think he could take him down.
Joey, last week, it was last Tuesday night, right before our radio show, actually, that my sources in New Zealand tipped me off to the fact that Cain Velasquez was hurt. It's amazing. You got to go to the other side of the world to find out what's going on this side of the world sometimes. But so we got tipped off that Cain Velasquez was out and that Mark Hunt was in. We haven't had an opportunity to bring this up. We only got a couple of minutes here, so just quickly on this, I see that Werdum is minus 375, as high as minus 400, and on paper, Werdum is a better fighter than Mark Hunt, but Mark Hunt, man, he's got that huge heart and he's got that huge fist as well, Joey. What do you make of the number?
I think I'm not running out to lay it. If I had, if you put a gun, if I had to manage my bankroll, I would bet Mark Hunt. Now, it looks like, look, Mark Hunt lost to Sean McCorkle, and, was pretty much left for dead after that. Junior Dos Santos, no shame there. But he did he did beat some good guys. He beat Rothwell. He beat Struve. It would be Mark Hunt or pass for me. It's going to be an interesting fight. If Werdum stands with him, Werdum can get himself knocked out. But, I don't want to see I don't really want to see either one of these guys be the world champ right now. I'm a big Cain fan. And, I told you my scenario. I would much rather see Cormier. Well, I want to see Cormier beat Jones, but I'd rather see Cormier fight Werdum and Gustafsson fight Jones again and then have the matchups that were scheduled. But that's not going to happen, obviously, only in a perfect world or if, you never know with the UFC.
That's interesting.
Things happen.
That's interesting, Joe. It's a nice, nice matchmaking there. And the UFC's had its ups and downs. Seems to be trending downwards a little bit right now, but there's a lot of potential great fights coming up in the next 6 months to 12 months, guys. And I'm really looking forward to some of these monster fights. We got to get out of here, unfortunately, Joey. 10 seconds. Ricci or Yoshida?
I got to like Yoshida here.
All right, there's Joey Oddessa. You want more Oddessa? Tune in to Sirius XM channel 167. We break it down every Tuesday night. We got more time. We can stretch our legs on satellite radio. We'll take you out with this, our video of the week. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.
What?